Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, the topic is this. Well, not exactly the Thunderbee airsoft grenade, but something else which I have an issue with, and I think a lot of people do, which are these. Grenade pins that get lost very, very easily. I'm sure you can imagine, if you haven't used these already, that if you're playing in a game and you pull one of these out and you throw it, you have one of these in your hand, and it is very difficult to know what to do with it. A lot of the time before I found this hack, I would actually just throw these in my dump pouch, and that is definitely something that can happen. That can be a good option to do, depending on the actual dump pouch that you have, because if it's got little holes in it, like the one that I use normally, these can get wedged in that, they can kind of drop through, get caught, etc. And if you've got something with an open top and you're running around, these can bounce out. So you do get a few of these extra, normally one or two when you buy a Thunderbee core. However, if they get lost, it is quite hard sometimes to find something that's going to replace it. So I've actually found a hack which I've been using for a little bit of time now. It depends on the game if I use it or not, but it is something that I think would be value to the community. So I thought today I would discuss it. And that is this product right here. Now, you can get different versions of these, and this isn't strictly the one necessarily you should buy, but this is a product, and I will put a link down below. So if you're thinking, what is this? And I actually want to check it out, or I'd like to buy it, just go hit the link below. It's a referral code to Amazon, so it will support the channel. But this is a fishing lanyard. And so what it does is it has this little string here, which is on a sprung, I don't know what you call, like a coil inside. And so what that does is it has a little hook on it, and it allows you to attach one of these little pins here, the grenade pins. And what that means is that I can attach this to pretty much anywhere on my gear. And so when I actually pull the pin from my grenade, and this is going to work in a whole bunch of different grenades, it doesn't have to be your Thunderbee, but the Thunderbees are, where I live, the most common grenades that people use. They're not pyro, and in Southern California, you know, you're not allowed to use pyro most of the time. So that is probably the most common pin grenade that people will use. And so what this allows you to do is basically have that pin on something, so it's not going to fall out your hand, it's not going to fall out your dump pouch, and you're going to be able to retain it and know where it is at all times. But because it's got this kind of like very thin lanyard on it, you can basically stick this anywhere on your kit, and then once you've pulled this pin and let go of this grenade, obviously you probably wouldn't do it like that, you'd probably do it like this. Let me just show you actually quickly. So what I normally do when I set a Thunderbee is I will pull back the actual pin there that's going to be on the hammer that's going to hit the pin. I'll stick the grenade pin in slightly on that position. I'll close the lever, and then I'll remove the pin from where that is, and I will place it into the center there. Otherwise, you're trying to hold it down, pull the actual hammer, the actual spoon down, and then get it in. So that's my little tip for the day. But, you know, I basically will pull this, and when I want to, I'll release that spoon, and that is ready to go, and it's going to start, you know, not counting down, but in a couple of seconds that's going to blow up. So I need to throw that, and this is something that when I'm pulling up my primary, I'm pulling out my secondary, whatever I'm doing next, I'm not necessarily thinking about this, and I've lost so many of them. So with this, I think it is it's something that really helps with that. If you want to know the price of this, it is $26.99 if you're buying it from Amazon right now, which is a lot of money, but it's actually something that you can use for a whole different load of stuff. If you want to put keys on it, if you want to use it for fishing, which I'm kind of presuming that this would do some kind of like line control. But this is built for fishing. It is called the Gerber Gear Defender Compact Durable Fishing Tether for freshwater fishing. Retractable premium fishing equipment in the color Flat Sage. And the other thing is they do it in this color. You can get different versions of this, but actually when I saw it, I was like, this is kind of useful because I kind of have like a little orange thing here, which isn't giving away in terms of camo what it is, but it is showing me the location of where that is. If I'm wondering, oh, is it still in the actual grenade? then, you know, I can actually tell that this is in that location. If I'm wanting to pull the actual pin, I can pull it from that location there with this hook, or I can pull it from the actual the actual ring on the pin. So that's another added bonus. And what I also like as well is that when it sits in, it actually kind of can clip in place. So I don't necessarily have that hanging around. It will retract, but I have that kind of click in place that will do there. So I like that. So I'll show you guys kind of how I use it. Normally I'll carry my grenades in something like this. This is the Unobtainium Gear smoke pouch. Fits these Thunderbees really well. It's kind of like that retention kind of elastic on the outside. These are Molly, so you can put it onto kind of any Molly interface. But it basically means that I can attach this. What I actually do is to my battle belt, which I'm going to show you in a second, but you could technically attach this if you wanted to the back of this and then keep it as like a self-contained unit. So I could just put it on the back of that flap there, have that in place. If I'm pulling that off, that's there, and then I'm pulling that pin, or I'm getting it out of my pocket with the pin attached, and then I'm being able to pull the pin and deploy the grenade as I want. Again, guys, this is airsoft. This is a CO2 grenade. This is in no way real. I'm not trying to teach anyone how to actually do anything real with a grenade here. This is purely airsoft that I'm doing it with. So I'll show you guys quickly just how I normally will run mine. I actually originally put it on, and I would put this onto my plate carrier or my cummerbund here. What I realized is that was not a good idea, mainly because that meant that I had a string that was basically showing in between my battle belt and the actual edge of my plate carrier. It just was not good, because if I caught it on something, it normally wouldn't be an issue, because the retention on this, you can actually vary it here, but the retention on this wasn't strong enough where it was going to pull the pin, but it was getting caught on things. And if I turned, or if I did something, if I wanted to draw a pistol mag pouch, then it could get in the way. So it's something where I decided to actually put it on the belt itself, and I think that works better, but it might be something that, you know, you think about when you're doing it. So what I've done here is I've actually put this just for demonstration purposes. I've put this in the position on here where I would normally have my pistol mag pouch. Doesn't really matter where you have it on your battle belt, but I've threaded the same pouch here, the Unobtainium Gear smoke pouch, onto this position here. What I'll then do is I'll actually take this clip behind, and it's quite a good clip on here. It actually will, it will kind of hook onto anything. It's got that kind of hook behind. You could put it through the Molly webbing, but what I actually ended up doing is just hooking it underneath. I go from the bottom to the top. So I'll just put it through there on the outer belt. I'll open that up, so it's in that spot. And then that is going to stay, if I actually properly put it on. Sorry, it's just caught here. Make sure it's not caught on the webbing, but that then will stay in that position. I don't ever have to like move it or get rid of it, because that is where it's going to stay. The only thing is, when I am setting up my grenade, I can do it just on my battle belt here, but I'm going to show it to you guys here just so that it's easier to kind of get the idea. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to pull back the actual hammer there. I'm going to use the pin just to stick it in place to hold it. I'm going to pull the spoon down. I'm going to remove that. I'm going to put it in the actual release hole. I'll do another video specifically on Thunderbees, because they can be a bit finicky if people aren't sure about them. Then what I'll actually do is just slightly push the actual pin itself, just to give it a bit of bend on it, which means that if that is pulled, you really have to pull it with force to get rid of it. You're not just going to be able to slide it out. And sometimes when you are running around with these, that will just fall out of that space. The spoon's going to go, it's going to implode next to you, and that's not ideal. Normally you're going to be fine, especially if it's in a grenade pouch, but I have heard of, or I've been at an event where this has happened. I didn't see it myself, but someone actually had one up on here on one of their chest rigs, accidentally pulled the pin, and this thing went off into their neck. Now, if you know Thunderbees, this plastic shell, there's a CO2 canister in here. The plastic shell is going to, the CO2 canister gets pierced. that releases the gas into here, and that basically expands this plastic shell until it explodes or splits down this line. And it can be a sharp plastic edge. So what happened with him is he actually lacerated his neck. He didn't die, but it was definitely, I think, quite a hairy situation for him in that spot, or that's what I heard because I didn't see it myself. So just bear in mind that is possible. So now what I have is I have that battle belt in that position. I can then just place this in here. So I'm actually going to, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this pin in the other way because I like it more when I'm drawing it to be in that location. So I normally have my spoon just located over here. That means that this is very close into where the retention device is. I'll then take this and I'll place that over the actual unobtainium gear catch. And so what that means is that I can just pull this to release my grenade. Sorry, it's quite hard when I haven't got the belt on. I've then got the ability to pull this grenade out. So if I've got my primary or my secondary, I can just reach down to my hip, which I'm going to show you in a second. I can pull this out, and then I just need to pull that pin. I can let go of the grenade, and then as I release it, that is going straight back into that retention device here. So I'm going to show you this one more time. I'm just going to put this together, and then I will, I'll show it to you on me because that's obviously the best example of this. But if you are in the situation which I've just described and you keep losing these pins, you can buy packs of them from Honkatsu, I think is the company that make Thunder Bee. You can buy like an extra 20 pins, which I've done quite a few times. So you may just want to go down that route. George in the background barking. You may want to go down that route, but this does just mean you basically need one pin for all your grenades if that's what you're running. And so I like this mode. So I've got on my inner belt right here. This is another belt that I use actually. It's not the magnetics belt that I've done videos on. This is the Ferro Concept belt. But as you can see here, I now basically have my grenade pouch, and then I've got the retention lanyard, or what do they call it? A retractable tether. So that's right there in this position. So if you imagine, and you don't have to imagine, I will show you here with my Glock 45. I'm going to have this here in my Safariland fork right there. And what I'm going to do is if I am out and using this, I only need one hand. I can reach down here. I can pull the tab on there to release the grenade. I can pull the grenade here. If I want to, I could probably just flick it off with my thumb. But if I push my Glock back in, I can just pull the pin there. I've got the grenade that I can release. And then as I have this here, that just goes straight back into that retention there. So next time I can just reconfigure the grenade if I want to. Very easily when I'm back in the safe zone, I'll just grab a new core, or I'll grab the core, reset the grenade. Imagine I put a new CO2 capsule in here. I've basically just put that back in place, and I can then just do the same thing and hit it there. The reason I like this one so much, because you could just do a piece of string really if you want to, but the reason I like it is because this is just going to give without actually pulling that pin out. So it's kind of got the safety of not setting it off by yourself. So again, if I am doing this, I just want to get my grenade out, I can just pull that pouch, that release, and then I just have my grenade, bang, and then I don't have to worry about this. Normally you may want to try and put it in your dump pouch, but I can just release that, that's gone there, and then I'm throwing that wherever I'm trying to get that grenade into. So hopefully guys, that has been of interest. As I said, I will put a link down below to the actual Gerber Gear Defender. So if you guys are interested in getting that, then you can click on that link and just get it. There are other options out there. This one was $27. I'm pretty sure you can get some for cheaper, but they may not be as good. But that product's been tested by me. It works. And so if that is something you're interested in, definitely get it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope this has been useful. I will be back again tomorrow with another video, and let me know how I can improve these, because I'm always trying to do that. Goodbye.